The game started the second the ad started, but you know what? It's fine. Like I said, we can pause it. And let's have a look to see what's going to be going on. As in the bottom left side, our blue Zerg player is Reynor. And in the upper right, it is our red Zerg Scarlett. Reynor needs the 2-0 to get KZ Gaming to a 3-3 scoreline. Of course, once you get to that 3-3, you've got to imagine Reynor's going to come out in the ace here. What's the ace map this week? That would probably be a good indicator as to whether he will come out in this ace match or not. Let me have a little quick peek around. It's day to see for the ace match. Yeah, I think Reynor probably comes out as the ace as well then if he does win these couple of maps to get us there at the very least. Did I put my volume back up? Sorry, just double checking everything was set back up okay. Openings are very standard. Hatch, gas, and pool across the board to begin with here, so absolutely nothing crazy about the starting point of this, and yeah, everyone gonna just get a nice little friendly start. Scarlett's a little quicker on the gas. We'll see if that turns into anything in particular in the next few moments. Doesn't necessarily have to. Reynor could just be being a little bit more kind of pool friendly as well, so yeah. Very minor. We're talking about a 16-20 gas difference, so it's there, but it's, like I say, it's pretty minor. It shouldn't make too much of a difference for the most part. It should be a pretty comfortable position, all said and done. For both of them. Both are very capable of being aggressive, cheeky, cheesy, and ZvZ, and this is a map as well where it's one of the shorter maps in the map pool, which means that obviously any Zerg aggression can hit quickly, it can hit dangerously. It's the kind of map you've got to be really on your toes about. If you're not paying attention on this map, if you're not aware of a, roach attack setting up, and you only see it as it leaves the base, it is going to be in your base well before you have any time to prepare for it. So you need to be so good at keeping track of things like that and just keeping on top of it all. As a little inject goes down, hatchery will be injected into there. Take a little bit of queen love. It's a fast lair out of Reynor. So Reynor going to go quick lair, going to bypass the third base. If he's going to bypass link speed, he doesn't want a fast third because he won't be able to hold on to it with no link speed of his own. And he will build the lair instead. So Reynor going to go for the fast attack this game. Plus one missile starts from Reynor immediately, so he's just going to go straight towards the roaches. And obviously, the whole idea of this is basically saying to Scarlett, well, there's not much for you to use your link speed with because, let's face it, what are you going to do? I've got no third for you to cancel. By the time I do, I've got roaches to defend it. Reynor's just going to try and get ahead on the roach game. And he's not going to be too far ahead on the +1. You can see Scarlett's +1 has started, and they're not too not too far behind Reynor's, so that should be kind of fine. As will be a bit of a question of roach runs as well, of course, to see how exactly this will all turn out. With that, a little bit of a cancel the front. Scarlett obviously would have loved to run lings in if she had enough of them, but Reynor doesn't know how many she has, wants to be careful with the wall off, cancels when he knows that it's going to be safe no matter what. And Scarlett's own lair coming up. So Reynor's not actually started roach speed yet, so it doesn't look like he's going to have much of a roach speed lead or anything. Scarlett's ahead a couple of workers, and yeah, she cancelled her own link speed. She really recognized what was going on in time. And then it's just really nice for Scarlett, because she's just basically doing what Reynor's doing, but with a third hatchery already built, and with a worker lead. Now it almost feels like Reynor has to hit a roach timing where, quite frankly, he just doesn't have much of an advantage to hit a roach timing with. And these roaches are moving, and Scarlett did build a round of drones. How much can she get up defensively here? Right now, she's not building anything. Still just droning as these roaches come across the map. Well, it's not that she couldn't afford roaches either, just... yeah, it's not like it's even a lot of roaches from Reynor, it's just 4. Well, Scarlett getting a ton of roaches now, as Reynor is the one to add in extra drones, so... Reynor just pokes, gets a creep tumor, backs it away, forces Scarlett to make some roaches, while now he will make drones of his own. And it's actually Scarlett that's going to take the army supply lead here, 34-14. Is Scarlett just going to keep on cranking out roaches and not stop and maybe try and catch Reynor being a bit too greedy? Reynor just goes straight into +2 missiles, +1 carapace. That combination is, oh, he's looking for the contaminate, I think, but I think he's a moment too late on it. So yeah, I don't think that Overseer will be able to connect. Could maybe contaminate the Roach speed, as he contaminates the +1 carapace. So Scarlett does start carapace, doesn't start missiles though. I think she is still somewhat intending to just fully send it right here, and she's trying to hide just how many roaches she has. Like I say, with the investment into +2/+1 from Reynor, Scarlett's even going to cancel her carapace, so it makes Reynor maybe feel as though she's investing into upgrades, when she isn't. She's in fact just going to come straight across the map and attack. And as well, yeah, you can see the creep spreading in Reynor's face already knows that this is really bad for him. The supply block losing that Overseer is really rough. And these roaches are just going to run straight up onto this third. And yeah, Scarlett is going to take this fight immediately. Equal upgrades at the moment. And Scarlett dodges away from the corrosive bars. And she knows she's got a bunch of Reynor's units trapped. So she is not going to let them out of this corner. The roaches continue to trade very well for the moment. The few Ravagers trying to fight back wherever possible. Can Reynor pull off a defense down 25 army supply at the moment? 16 drones already dead, so Scarlett will have a worker lead coming out of this. She's going to get rid of those few Ravagers on the far left side of this as well, and her own reinforcements have just continued to stream across the map. It looks like Scarlett has plenty to, if not close this game out, to just play the rest of the game with, because let's face it, she's up 12 workers. Yeah, she should be fine going from here. The only thing Reynor will have is an eventual upgrade lead that Scarlett will probably start working on soon, and that's assuming Reynor didn't cancel his upgrades, which she did not. So Reynor will begin to go into +2/+1. Scarlett got a lot of damage. She did lose a lot of roaches, but she had roaches to lose as she maintains the lead. And like I say, the biggest question mark is, are the upgrades of Reynor going to be enough? He's just massing up roaches. He's making a couple drones here and there. Scarlett is just massing up roaches. I guess Scarlett feels like maybe a counterattack could be kind of deadly to her. Or maybe she wants to go for another round. But if she goes for another round, she's a full set of upgrades behind. If Scarlett's attacking into Reynor and Reynor has that upgrade lead, maybe Reynor can actually hold on. Maybe then there would be a chance. Obviously, Reynor still isn't quite there on the drone count, though, so Scarlett's just being able to make more and more, and that is a big deal. And the +2 carapace from Reynor is definitely an investment you don't want to be seeing, as Scarlett will just try and slow Reynor down a little, thinking about how to move through the center. She has a set of roaches on the counterattack, so she's going to get a few more drones here and really put Reynor's mind into a little pit of despair. And that's going to be painful as well. So Reynor going to have to figure that out. Now Scarlett can try and set up a bit of a surround. Perhaps her roaches coming forward. No Ravagers, just pure roach production. Scarlett a little supply block could do with obviously moving into a few more roaches. Look at her money. Could even morph in some Ravagers on this side of the map. Again, upgrades might be a bit of an issue. Will it be enough though? Corrosive Bars dropping down, connecting a little bit. Scarlett's numbers, will they succeed? Remember, she has some roaches on the left side. She had to peel away because she was being chased away. And now she starts +2 missiles. I think Scarlett's saying, I can't break through here. And if Scarlett could not break through here, Reynor might have had the hold necessary. Wow. I think, I mean, Scarlett still has a 13 worker lead. Still maintains army supply advantage. Really, I think for now, Scarlett just says, I'm going to wait out until I get my my upgrades going, right? Reynor's still going to have both the carapace upgrades, but at least Scarlett can play catch-up on the missiles somewhat. And even just getting the missile upgrades, I think at this point is a pretty big W for Scarlett. If she can get there, it's still, what, a minute and a half away or so? She's still just massing units. As is Reynor, though, and again, Scarlett can make so many more units, so it might just not even matter upgrade-wise. But her attacking is definitely not working. The only thing she needs to be careful of is, if Reynor starts to drone heavily, she needs to be careful not to suddenly be down, like, 10 workers or so, and just sitting back and not doing anything, right? Why wasn't Scarlett making Ravagers? She wasn't making Ravagers originally because she didn't really want them. Because her whole power of her army was to overwhelm and surge forward, not take slow tactical fights with Ravager Biles dropping and positioning around them and stuff. She's making some now because she's getting maxed out. It was really about the surge and sheer number of units before from Scarlett. And Ravagers take away from that quite a lot because they're quite gas expensive. For the gas it costs for one Ravager, you can make 3 more Roaches, you know? Pushing in here, Scarlett's having a great fight top left, but that means in the center she's a little bit outnumbered. So she needs to be careful about that. Reynor is obviously going to try and capitalize on those top left units, but is not going to get there. So Scarlett does clean out there, and Reynor sitting at 160 supply. Definitely looking worse for wear right now. As we do have our +2 missiles moments away from finishing. One more corrosive bars, not quite going to catch that Overlord as it moves off to the sides. Yeah, the upgrades will look terrifying there too, to +1, but now +2 finishes, and it's just a carapace upgrade lead. Scarlett will be pretty quick to catch up on +1 carapace as well. Obviously, with it being +1 upgrade, it's a little bit faster to build. And the most important upgrade in Roach vs. Roach absolutely is the missile, so having that already will make Scarlett feel a lot more confident as she comes forward. 20 army supply lead. A few Ravagers of her own now, so she can play a bit more of that positional battle as well if she wants to. Roaches continue to trade out with other said Roaches for the moment. More of the Roach Ravager of Reynor just trying to play defensive. Scarlett has a 4th base up that Reynor's not been able to find a chance to build yet, so that's obviously a pretty notable difference right now as well. Roach Ravager from Scarlett still running down this right-hand side. Trying to find the fight. I mean, does she have enough on the left? Is she going to get overwhelmed there? She has to be careful because, I mean, the carapace still has something of an impact. Continue to push through the center. Scarlett wants to break in. Reynor gets to be maxed out. Now it's going to come a lot down to these fights. Upgrade advantage should help. Obviously, the big issue is, again, Reynor doesn't have a 4th base where Scarlett does. She sees these Roaches moving, so she'll have to get something up to defend that. Scarlett's trying to tech into the infestation pit. Reynor just going to go burrow and tunneling claws to get some Roach harassment on the map. Going to catch a few Roaches. We have an Overseer just popping. We need to get that to the left side, get some free pickings there. We actually have enough to overwhelm in this natural. There's the burrow and the movement, so you can put those Roaches to harassment use. Scarlett's keeping pretty good track of most of these Roaches, but obviously being pulled around a little bit means she has to respond. And now Reynor going for a larger attack at the front as well, trying to make something of this. Scarlett dancing neatly for the moment. Has had +1 carapace finish, so it's only a 1 carapace upgrade difference now when it comes to the upgrades. Scarlett has had, well, she had more drones, a couple more drones for a while. Now she's lost 14. Reynor's going to have more workers. Can Scarlett overwhelm on this army, though? If Scarlett wins this fight, she needs to go across the map because she lost a lot of drones. While she can rebuild some now, she might just want to take advantage with the army that she currently has as well before the worker deficit gets to her. If she can get a few more workers killed herself and improve this position tenfold. Pressing forward. Roaches continue to escape away from Reynor. Just going to be seeing a couple of Roaches still after a Queen just now. Trying to get a little bit more damage done. Roaches fighting those other Roaches and finally the cleanup in the main. Frustrating to deal with, but obviously, again, you're giving up units here as Reynor. The more Roaches you give up, the more chance Scarlett has to come across the map. Scarlett is not really rebuilding drones. I know they haven't not put the production tab on for a while. They just put it on now. She's massed units, so she has 165 army supply. Huge army, but a major issue if she can't win a fight right now because she will, Reynor will have the bank to rebuild with given time with that worker lead. Right now, it's kind of weird because Scarlett has the bank despite the less drones, so she should be in a killer position. Let's find out. She wants this straight-up fight. She really does. Can't find it yet as Reynor's army supply is starting to match a little bit. Again, unit tab and not production tabs. I can't see what Scarlett is building on the back end of this. She might be rebuilding drones at this point. As well, Roaches burrow for a few moments. The idea being that you get a bit more regeneration when burrowed, so just trying to take advantage of that. Scarlett had to invest into some static defense too, which eats up some of the drones, which she already didn't really have many of. More problems to be dealing with. Battles holding out this central position. Here we go. Ravager's going to get a few more battles again. Back and forth continues between the two of them. Drop down the base. Reynor's still playing off 3 bases, remember, guys. So 3 bases, but more drones. I guess at some point soon he's going to start not having enough bases to mine from those. So, or not, because he's just going to have, mined out of the main natural. Scarlett's got a surround on this fight, so it should be good for her. She's got to dodge the battles, though. A lot of her Roaches are kind of hurt in the autumn colors. Red, orange, yellow. just hurting a lot. And now Scarlett's fourth base under heavy fire, but she's starting to break through up this ramp. And if she gets up here, she kills the Roach Roaring. Then Reynor can't rebuild much more than what he's already rebuilt. And Scarlett hold her own as she has more Roaches coming in for the surround on the Roaches that came in to defend. There's a picture-in-picture showing what's going on across the map. It's Reynor's Roaches that are in high numbers, dealing a lot of damage initially, but I think Scarlett's starting to retake control of her natural expansion. So Reynor's attack over there is ending, and Reynor, can he deal with this attack of Scarlett? Remember, he's waiting on a Roach Roaring to really be able to rebuild Roaches. He's stacking up money, which means that when that finishes, he's going to have a surge of supply. I think Scarlett might be losing just a little bit too much. Reynor, again, he's got 501k to build. He's just lost his natural hatchery. Production might be an issue for Reynor. Lava might be an issue. Scarlett's lost her Roach Roaring as well. No, sorry, sorry, I got the colors the wrong way around. It's flipped on the scoreboard and the players' positions. Reynor didn't rebuild a Roach Roaring yet. So he has to rebuild one now. Scarlett was rebuilding her Roach Roaring. My apologies, guys. Scarlett running around, still has 3 bases, now to the 2. 19 drones only. Army supplies are dead similar. Reynor has money for when this Roach Roaring finishes. That could be what kills Scarlett here, because she might not be able to match the Roach production Reynor's about to crank out. 6 Roaches begin. Again, I think the biggest issue Reynor has is just straight up lava. 6 Roaches, 2 Ravages. And you can see Reynor bouncing back. And again, more workers, but at this point, that main base has got to be on the verge of being mined out. If that main base is truly on the verge of being mined out, well, then what, right? I mean, then the 36 drones don't really count for anything. Insta-cancel on this base. Reynor was smart to cancel that. Losing 300 minerals right now is extremely expensive. So if you miss that cancel, that can be really bad for you. Trying a long-distance mine already. Scarlett has a Roach in her natural. Again, just the little bits of harassment at the moment can do so much for you as well. Again, an absolutely nutty game of ZvZ here on Waterfall as a few more corrosive bars drop down from the skies, scattering across this army. The harass potential for Reynor is huge. Scarlett chipping away at some drones herself at least, doing some amounts of damage. Now starting to clean up those Roaches that were bowed. There's still one in the corner of the main base, I believe. I think I see on the mini-map. Income has settled down to be pretty much even. Reynor has a couple more army supplies. Wow. It's just one of those games where neither player wants to take the chance of building the extra drones, right? At this point in time. For Reynor, there's no need until he gets a base up. For Scarlett, it's a question of can you even afford to? She did rebuild a couple. I mean, Scarlett's also going to have a lack of mineral patches to mine from. But she does have more than Reynor, at least for the moment. Reynor's main base completely mined out. That third has been mined in a while. Once Reynor gets this base up on the left, his economy should shoot ahead again. But maybe if he's going to sit back and let that happen, Scarlett has a chance to expand herself to a 4th once more. Resources lost 29k to 27k. Reynor's been more efficient as he had to be in this game. He was mining so much less for so long. Keep that in mind too, that in theory Reynor's mined less on the map up until now. Like I say, a lot of that will have been the difference being just Scarlett already had a 4th at some stage, right? That's made up for by, I guess, Reynor taking a 4th now. Army supplies are almost dead even in this absolutely hectic first game between Reynor and Scarlett. Remember, Reynor must 2-0 to keep this series alive for his team, Kaizi Gaming. Scarlett just needs one map to win it for the Shopify Rebellion. Scarlett getting her own burrow upgrades now as well. You know, I really like that because we're in a situation where Reynor has not had to deal with this. And even just the investment into Overseers for Reynor would be kind of expensive at this moment in time, right? So having to build into Overseers is a cost and could just be something else that just helps skew things. Obviously, I mean, the investment into Roach Burrower and stuff is expensive as well. Here comes Reynor poking forward. And Scarlett will try and hold this defensive position. She has less Ravages. Moments away from her burrow, moments away from her tunneling claws. Coming to help things out. We're just going to actually unburrow and move forward a little bit. Here comes the Roach Ravager from Scarlett again, though, coming straight through and saying, nuh-uh, not just yet. Touching her off. Going around a few balls. Being scared away. We do have the roaches coming in. Roach gets picked off. Again, that burrow is annoying. Scarlett had a chance to use hers yet. I don't believe so. Reynor might have been able to notice that it's in play as well, because the roaches do get that visual indicator. Reynor just started the lair. Did he lose his lair on the natural? I was kind of wondering if he had, but I wasn't sure. I thought it might still be in the main base. Without a lair, obviously, he cannot build mobile detection, so he's got to build a lair. He's got to rebuild the static defenses, and yeah, the lair was on the natural. That was lost, and so Reynor is currently without the ability to detect until spores come up, so that is a frustration, and again, that's an investment that Reynor now has to be making as Scarlett takes a worker lead, has a fourth base. Roaches flip heads as they burrow into each other, and Reynor is trying to set up a large attack on that right side base, and Scarlett doesn't have really any detection to spot units moving into this right side base via burrow. She has a few units there, which is actually bad for her because she's probably going to get overwhelmed. Yeah, I guess the rest of her army isn't too far away as she pops up these few roaches. Very little kind of burrow investment from Scarlett, right? Just a handful of roaches moving forward. Reynor losing a few drones. Scarlett pressing forward with everything else. This is where Reynor probably wants to strike on the right side. If he's holding on the left, then hitting on the right where he has so much. Yeah, that's going to be scary for Scarlett. This hatchery's going to take a lot of damage. And she's just not going to be able to capitalize elsewhere because she has less army supply. So Reynor's not really noticing these roaches missing from the defense. An extremely technical game of ZvZ right now as the defense continues across the board. Absolutely bananas game right now. And with, again, so much on the line, because honestly, if Kaisi lost today without an ace match, it really does feel like their season is in potential jeopardy. Like, they can still make playoffs, but they would be clinging on by a thread. Reynor is maxed, and I think he might just be in good enough position to perhaps take this now, as Scarlett has a few more Ravages. Reynor has a few more Ravages. Reynor has a few more Roaches. Sorry, the colors and the positions on the minimap are still messing me up. I apologize. Versatile's coming in. Roaches and Ravages have to split. Scarlett just trying to stay aggressive, but she just has not been able to build enough. She's losing too much, apparently. And now Reynor has a bit of a surround coming in. Getting on top of this army. The Roaches coming over. And in we go. Scarlett has no choice but to tap out GG's. And Reynor gets a massive victory for himself here. And he will know it. GG's. Reynor gives himself a massive win. Wow. There we go. As we do have our, in the top left, Blue Zerg player, it is going to be Reynor. And in the bottom right, Shopify Rebellion Zerg is Scarlett. Well then, here we go again. As we get into a map which is, you would imagine, a map which is more likely to be a bit more macro focused. I mean, last game obviously went long, but it was low tech, low economy, low tier units the entire time. Was really brought back by the just really kept there because of the low economy basically throughout, so pretty crazy stuff as we get set to go now into game number 2. Hatch, gas, and pool on both sides to start things out. Want to see a Reynor Beyond Ace match? Well, we'll see if we get it. ZvZ will be the map for that as well, by the way, so pretty kind of down the middle map, really open to anybody. We do get to that ace game. That'd be pretty sick if we got a Reynor versus Beyond Ace. Sign me the hell up, guys. I'm in. I'm down for that one, you know. Couple Lings coming through. Ling on Ling action, having a little bit of fun. Ling speed coming through. Baneling Nest getting going. Hatchery coming down. Let's see that Baneling Nest continuing along for the moment. And again, Hatchery, Ling speed all on the way up on the side of Scarlett. With Reynor getting that Baneling Nest, obviously we did not see a single Baneling last time. We never saw Ling speed completing in that last game, so this already looks to be quite different. As 12 Lings will be producing, and Reynor on a bit of an aggressive side of things here with a lot of Lings on the way while Scarlett drones. Reynor going to bring a bit of Ling Bane pressure to Scarlett in these early stages. And this really is just a moment or two away from finishing. And here we go. The Lings begin to move down the right side of the map, and Scarlett will see this. She starts a carapace upgrade, so it looks like she wants to play Ling Roach. As the Roach Roar coming down. Typically, when you play no Baneling Nest, you're the aggressor, so you can force Banelings of your opponent to morph on the other side, so you don't have to be the defensive player, because that's very difficult. You have less space to work with, and Scarlett straight up has to cancel the third base, which is just a disastrous situation to start things out on, right? That is not where you want to be at all, as these Lings try and crash through into the natural expansion. The few Banes are going to come waddling forward. And what is going to happen here? The Bane's going to try and get to the front. Well, they're going to start slipping past the Queens, apparently. Oh, they turned around. That one did, so a little bit of a wasted Baneling there. And just having the cancel on the third is big a deal in the first place, because if nothing else, it's lava now that Scarlett would have had, that now she doesn't have access to. And if she doesn't have that lava, hitting a Ling Roach all in is going to be that much more difficult as well, right? So, yeah, problems abound from Scarlett here in the start of this one. She rebuilds the third hatch straight away. She gets a couple Overlords on the way. She's supply blocked from making her potential Roaches right now. She dives straight across the map. Ling's already on the counterattack, doing decently though for Scarlett. I mean, she's going to get rid of the drones here. She's going to get rid of the Queen, and she's going to have the third hatchery open to attack. What's she going to go for? She's killing Lings as they spawn. Reynor has the money to build some Roaches soon. His Roach Roar just finished. Scarlett starts onto Reynor's third hatch. There's surely no way she gets the kill there, right? I think she realizes it too. She turned to fight for a few moments. Now she backs it up. Still waiting on her Roaches to come through. She's double expanding. Maybe not as committed to this Roach Ling attack as we thought she might be. Might be happy to kind of play out a little bit of a different pace game here than, like I say, what I thought was maybe initially about to happen. Let's keep coming around. The Roach is just going to be coming through to push some of those Lings back as well. So that little bit of Ling Roach action continues. Lings chased away one more time, and again, just going to have the Lings and the Roaches of Scarlett continue to push Reynor back for now. Roaches and the Lings of Scarlett start to make their way up the right side of the map. Away they go. A couple Banes being chased down. Obviously, Scarlett has surged ahead in army supply. Reynor did go back to droning a little bit, so maybe didn't believe Scarlett was going to invest into the attack in the end. Remember, Scarlett has a 4th tier too if she wants to drone that up eventually. There we go. A couple of Banes are scary for Scarlett. They do connect on some of those Zerglings. Having Lings here in the front here means that the Roaches of Reynor are not really taking any damage, as Scarlett's Lings just work their way through the spine. They're working their way through the drones on the mineral line. Scarlett's doing very well up in this position. And right now, Reynor, can he get enough up to hold? He's already signed. His facial expression suggests he doesn't believe he can hold this. The Roaches keep going down. The drones are in trouble. The Queens will be hunted. And Reynor is obviously just down the carapace upgrade, making it very tough to break through. And especially as Lings reinforce for Scarlett, it looks like she might have enough in this game from a cancelled third hatchery to a double expand to an all-in anyway. Scarlett is going to get it done. And she is going to get the victory for the Shopify Rebellion, a massive win when it comes to the standings of this World Team League season. The Kaiser Gaming